G'day YouTube, it's Brett here from Overtime Gaming with you once again, and g'day the MPD Nation. Guys, if you don't know what the MPD Nation is, definitely go check it out, links in the description. Great place to help you small channels grow. I'd also like to say thank you so much to Sports Gaming Universe. If you don't know what Sports Gaming Universe is, it's one of the best sports gaming YouTube channels. The link's in the description as well. One of my videos is actually featured on there. It's the game we played against Wigan. So definitely go check it out, guys. Check out Sports Gaming Universe. Massive help to me. And welcome to all people that have come from there. Now, as you can see, we're back with some FIFA 13 Connected Career Mode with the Newcastle United. The mighty Magpies. Of course, we've got Arsenal today, guys. You would have known that if you had watched the last episode. We had a loss against Man United, 2-1. They dominated us all game, but Captain Fantastic, and Cabaye scored a cracker in the last 10 minutes. Almost made us with a comeback. We're 8th there, as you can see. 2 points behind Arsenal today. And a win today is very big for us. It pulls us above Arsenal and pulls us up to around 6th. It's definitely a much needed win for us. And as you can see, they've put out a strong side there. I'm not really sure who Watt is up front. If you guys know who he is, let me know. Quaulin is playing. He's actually a guy I'm interested in buying. Diaby is also on a bench. As you can see, we put out a strong side as well. Marvauex is knackered, so we've rested him and we're playing Henry up front and moved Menez back to the left side of midfield. Now, this is the last episode before the transfer window, guys. And actually, at the end of this episode, you'll see the first day of the transfer window. This is on the 29th of December, and on the 1st of January, we have a game against Everton. But what I've done in this episode, I've recorded the game, and I've also recorded the first day of transfers up to the Everton game. So really all we're doing is putting bids in, doing a few things up for sale, stuff like that, and then everything happens in the next video. But we're going to try and win here today to give us a good bit of momentum going into the Christmas break, going into January transfer window. And if we pick up a draw or loss, we're really on poor form, to be fair. Loss against Man United, not the greatest way to end the year, to be fair. Now, obviously, guys, I want you to leave comments on as much as possible. And one of the comments I got this week was actually from an American viewer. And he checked out my channel because of the American football stuff and on it. But has decided he wants to try and get into this series as well. But he doesn't know too much about soccer or football from where I come from. And that's rolling gloves. And if you don't know what rolling gloves are, as far as I know, rolling gloves are actually the manufacturer of baseball gloves and baseballs for the MLB. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's it. And I love baseball, so I think I'm right there. But obviously it's probably not them. It is a user called Rolling's Glove, and I'll go into that. Oh, they're caught offside here. And his comment was, "New subscriber here. I really like these videos. I enjoyed your Raven series and I really want to get into this one. I just know so little about soccer. I wonder if you could talk about different strategies you are executing during the game or why, and maybe an episode about how selling players and loaning them work. I'm an American and these things are foreign to me. I know this is a very specific request, but it would be great help to me. Keep up the good work." And as we all know, I like to reply to every single one of my comments, and usually I reply with a comment of my own. But because this one was in so much detail and he actually specifically asked me for something, I thought I'd speak about it in this video. Now, in terms of the strategy one that he asked about, I don't execute too much strategies in this game. But I can talk about what strategies I use. One of the strategies I do use is the formation. The formation is how the team is laid out. Obviously, in American football terms, that would be like the I formation and the gun formation and stuff like, the shotgun. Basically, in soccer or football, you have to set out a formation at the beginning of the match. That can be altered during the game, depending on the way the game is being played. But it is always set up before the match, and it gives players certain positions. So, for example, I'm playing a 4-1-4-1, which means I've got one goalkeeper. That's always there, but it's never included in the formation. They're going to score. Oh, how did he miss that? Walcott skies a little chip there. Definitely should have scored. But as I was saying, I'm playing a 4-1-4-1. And that means I've got one goalkeeper. That isn't any of the numbers in the formation. That is always there. I've got one goalkeeper. I've got 4 defenders. And the combination of those 4 defenders is a left back, 2 centre backs and a right back. Then I've got another 1. So there's the first 4. Then I've got a 1, which is 1 centre defensive midfielder. And that's a player and in this case is Cabaye, that's a player that does a lot of defensive work for a team, but also is in control of your side basically. Is there to make plays happen. Is basically like a quarterback at football. Now, then I've got another 4. And they're 4 midfielders. Or is that wrong? No, I've got 3. Sorry, it's not... Yeah, I've got 3. And they're another 3 midfielders. And that is a right midfielder, which in this case is Hassan Ben Arfa. A left midfielder, which in this case is Jeremy Menez. And a centre attacking midfielder. And that is very much like your centre defensive midfielder, except he's a lot more attacking. And I am wrong, I have got 4 in the midfield, not 3. Sorry. And so I've got 2 centre attacking midfielders, and that's Brahimi and Sissoko. And they're similar to Cabaye's role, so much like a quarterback, except far more attacking. They don't do much defensive work, so it's more like a running back or a wide receiver, in all honesty. And it's a lovely little ball over the top. Oh, and good save by Szczesny. We should have had a goal there, to be fair, but we may get one here. Brahimi, oh, forces a corner. Good work by Brahimi there. And then the final player on the pitch is a striker. And the striker is just a player that is there to attack. Very much like a wide receiver. Literally there, nothing for defence, but it's just there to break up the field and try for a goal in this case, or an American football touchdown. So that's the simplest way to put it. Now, I do alter this through a game. For example, if I want to go more defensive, I'll play with 5 defenders and only 1 up front, and I'll play with 4 midfielders. Of course, there's 11 players in football, in soccer. One of those is a goalkeeper always, and the 10 are on-field players. Now, they're the only sort of strategies I use. However, there are other strategies you can use. You can go into like ultra defensive, ultra attacking, which basically means your players move further and lower down the pitch. If I went into ultra attacking, all my players would push further up the pitch, which would leave a lot of space behind my defence for Arsenal, in this case, to attack, but would mean I would have more of an attacking force. Obviously, ultra defensive is the opposite. They drop further back, so it allows Arsenal to come at us, but we have more players behind the ball stopping them attack. But obviously makes it harder for us to attack. Now, one thing I do use a lot, obviously if you've watched my videos, I'm not the greatest defender. Oh my god, sorry. Aaron Ramsey, Rambo scores a goal in the 55th minute and puts Arsenal up. We've been all over him. And just somehow he comes out with this sloppy P-roller. That's just an awful goal. Ruffier had no way of getting down to it. And it's just an awful, awful finish. But as I was saying, I'm not the greatest defender in the world. I'm decent at attacking, but I'm not very good at defending. And because of that, I like to play a lot of men behind the ball. And is that a goal? Yes! Brahimi! He has been an absolute wonder kid for us so far. 58th minute, he ties the game back up for us. Aliadiare had a shot. Good save by Szczesny, but it bounces back out to Brahimi. And Brahimi just sneaks it under Szczesny, and it just crosses the line. Great, great goal. Well done, son. Now, back to where I was. Obviously, I try and counter-attack a lot, which means I throw a lot of men behind the ball, win the ball from a defensive position, and then quickly break up the pitch. And that basically means leaving an attacker upfield and most likely 2 to 3 midfielders upfield. And defenders will win the ball and then quickly break. And I might do it here. No, I'm not. But what they would do there, they would leave these players upfield and hopefully would have more men upfield in the defence. And you'd quickly play the ball between the defenders and break into the open space and break upfield. Now, I tried to implement that a lot, but unfortunately on Legendary, the defence is very quick to get back. You could also play a lot of wing play, which means you move up the pitch and up the wings and cross the ball in a lot, which means you play a floated ball into the middle of the box, aiming for a player to header. So I don't do that very often because I'm not the greatest crosser of a ball, and I also haven't got the biggest strikers in the world. So it doesn't really suit my style of play, but a lot of gamers do it. I tend to use just a central attacking role tactic, which means I play at the centre of the pitch a lot. That's why I've got so many midfielders, and Arsenal score there. Lucas Podolski with a gorgeous ball back across the face of goal to Monreal in the 89th minute, I believe. Monreal gets a cheeky goal. Ruffier came out to shut down Podolski, and look at his lovely ball by Podolski. Just a little chip across goal. Ruffier had no chance. And I'm pretty sure Arsenal get the win here, guys. It could be the 69th minute, actually, so we could make a comeback. And hopefully Captain Fantastic can do it again. And it was the 69th minute, my bad. So hopefully we can lead a counter-attack here and we can get back on the board. And as I was saying, I attack at the centre. You'll see it in that possession just there. I pass through the middle of the pitch. So it narrows the way the defence has to play because they have to shut down so many players in the centre of the pitch. They narrow, which allows my wingers, Menez and Ben Arfa, to then spread out as the defence narrows, spread out and gives them space down the wings. Now it doesn't always work, and oh, they hit the post there. It doesn't always work, but especially against bigger teams it doesn't work very often. But you'll see against smaller teams, other than the game against Wigan, I implement this and it does work quite well, and it allows me to widen. And of course the defence widens with me if I widen as well, but it then allows me, as they widen, to try and cover the gaps they've made. It gives little gaps in the defence, which allows my players to cut in and shoot. And that's what I like implementing. As you can see, we're bringing another striker on for defender here, so we actually drop 3 at the back. And this is a good example of a strategy. I've switched my formation. I've switched it, so I've only got 3 in defence. I've still got my 5 midfielders, and then I've got 2 up front. And that gives me more of an attacking presence. I've also got rid of the centre defensive midfielder, so they are all attacking players. Obviously that will open me up some more to attacks, like is showing here. And a good save by Ruffier there, and good defending as well, but they still got the ball. But luckily Podolski's offside there. Does open me up some more attacks, but it gives me so much more of an attacking threat. And if you just saw there, guys, Arsenal bring on Fred for Podolski. I didn't even know they bought Fred. If you don't know who Fred is, Fred's a Brazilian attacker. He's absolutely brilliant. But as you can see there, Sissoko pulls up injured, and that's definitely not what we need. Hopefully he'll be okay. There's only around 5 minutes left, so we're going to leave him on. Hopefully he will be okay. I can't afford to lose Sissoko. And as you can see there, there's a perfect example of narrowing. And Aliadiare hits the post, and they just managed to clear it away. They hit it back off Jeffron, but we luckily get the corner. Hopefully Menez can whip this one in and we can get a goal out of this. Thought Aliadiare had the equaliser there, but it just didn't happen. They get the ball away from the corner and they can just run out the clock now, guys. There's 3 minutes left and it just doesn't happen for us here, I'm afraid. But other strategies you can use are things from like free kicks and corners. You can make certain plays and certain runs. So much like in American football, you'd organise your wide receivers to run certain areas and make certain routes. Well, in soccer, from a corner or a free kick, you'd get your attackers to run to certain areas of the pitch to try and get open, to have an open lane to shoot from. And that's very much the only tactics you can really use. Obviously, all different managers change, so it can vary from person to person. I'll go more in depth if you want me to. Anything you're confused about, just leave in the comments below and I'll let you know. I'll give you some answers. We can continue to talk about this. I really liked the way you commented on it, and it really did help me out. Gives me something to talk about, and I really enjoyed it. Now, one thing I haven't talked about, guys, is Newcastle are pretty much safe in the real Premier League now. Absolutely awesome win. Hang on, as you can see there, I turned down the Scotland job. Absolutely awesome win against Fulham yesterday. 92nd minute goal from Cisse, and it was an absolutely beautiful goal. And the way Pardew celebrated, it was just magic. Pardew and Cisse both jumped into the crowd. It was absolutely beautiful, and it gained Pardew a lot of respect from me. But as you can see, it's transfer window time now, guys, so we can start making some signings. I am requesting some funds from the Newcastle owners, Mike Ashley. I'm lying about what I think I can do. I said I can reach the cup final, which isn't going to happen. I've asked for 10 million. I don't expect that at all, but hopefully we can. Now, obviously, you'll see here I make inquiries and make some bids for players. I won't go into any detail. You can see it on the screen. I'll explain the importance of buying and selling players. Now, obviously, in American football, you have the free agency, and we don't really have that in football, in soccer. Free agency in American football is obviously when a player runs out of contract, is then free to speak to any team he wants with his agent and sign for them. Well, in football, you don't really get that because people don't want to lose their players for nothing. Footballers are worth so much money. For example, you can get 50 million for a great attacking player. Like Falcao they want 50 million for him, or Cavani, they want 50 million for him. So teams don't want to lose their players for nothing when they can make money on them, even like 3 or 4 million. And alongside that, in American football, you have trades. You obviously trade a player or draft picks for a player. In our soccer, you don't have trades. Well, you do have trades, but you don't have the draft, sorry. So you have to make your own youth teams, and they're players from local areas, from local countries that you bring in for a young age and grow as your own players. Now, we don't have the draft. We don't draft players from universities or anything like that. So we don't have the gulf of talent, young players that come through. So teams have to buy their players. Obviously, there's so many different leagues in soccer. It does help, which is one of the reasons we don't have a draft. Obviously, we have very much like the championship in the English football and lower is much like the minor leagues. So Premier League sides will buy players from them and buy players from abroad to have for their team. Now, the importance for this is you need to strengthen your team at all times. And obviously, it depends on how much money you've got available to you. So you have to go in and buy players. And you can only do that in the summer when it's off season. And you can only do that in the January. Now, obviously, because of that, you have to buy the right players. And that is very much needed in football. There is trades. You can trade a player for a player, but it usually involves cash sums as well. So we'll get more into that in the next episode when we start buying players and stuff like that. But as you can see, I did put some players up for sale, and it definitely helped us out. And we got Everton in the next video, guys, and hopefully we can sign a few players like Pogba I made a bid for in the next episode, guys. So peace out, YouTube. We're heading into overtime.